We can,
What about
public comment, yes,
Okay.
yeah, public comment. Susan?
Pat McGuffin.
Mayor Nelson and commissioners, it's an honor to be with you today. And I want to share something that I feel like is important to say into the public record and to all those that are gathered here today. I'm here to honor the incredible life of the owner and publisher of the Apopka Chief and the Planter newspapers, John Ricketson, who for 45 years served this city and its citizen. As you know, he passed away recently at age 84 after impacting our city and covering the events and people for many, many years. The Apopka Chief is 101 years old. It started in January 2nd of 1923. It may be the oldest business in Apopka. I don't know. But it wasn't John's style to brag on anything or draw attention to himself. But that was 101 years in this city. The Planter newspaper was started by my dad, W.R. McGuffin, in 1965. And we bought the Apopka Chief in 1967. We later, when my dad was ready to retire, he chose John Ricketson to be the owner of the newspapers going forward. John Ricketson was no ordinary businessman. He felt he was entrusted by the community to cover the many events and governmental issues in school organizations and a host of other activities, not just for history, but for history in the making. To be in that position, you have to have grit, you have to have curiosity and perseverance, you have to have a strong backbone, you have to be able to let the barbs that people throw at you roll off your back like water on a duck's back. And he did that. You have to be willing to suffer the high financial cost of publishing for the greater good of the city. You have to be willing to publish and write strong editorials, taking a leadership stance, even though it may be unpopular to certain segments of the community. And that's okay to have different views as long as we can be civil and honorable, which is a good lesson for today. School students got their names and photographs in the newspaper probably for the only time they'll have in their entire life. The city government issues were researched and covered. Citywide events like the Christmas parade and the fall festival and so many others were captured and participated in by JR, as we all used to call him. I believe Apopka is a better place because of the life in the newspapers of John Ricketson that he led for 45 years, almost a half a century. And ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea of the personal financial cost that John paid to keep that newspaper alive during this heavy transition in our technological shifting society. But he did it for you. In my estimation, as a Apopka businessman, as a pastor, as a former president and publisher of 19 newspapers in Florida, there is no finer newspaper owner that I know than John Ricketson. And I wanted to express my thanks for what he has done for this city of Apopka that I love and many of you love. So I just want to say thank you to him.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, next up.
Caitlin Cassetta.
Caitlin?
We're having issues, I guess, with the live feed. So we need to wait until that is back up and confirmed. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's not live?
No, it's not live. No. Come on.
It's not live.
Come
No, this needs
Come
to be
on.
live.
No, it's got to be. I
You
know
are
it is.
shameful. This needs to be live.
It's audio. It's audio. We're covered audio.
It's not live.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
You know how
You can. It's audio. We got it. Let's go.
they shut it off. They shut the live feed. So no one sees the public comment. The public is not seeing this.
Wow, so you're just shutting down access to public comment.
No, I'm not. No. Caitlin, you want to come up? No, I'm not.
Then why isn't it back
Audio.
on?
You can come on up. Anybody wants
So
to speak
you
in audio?
instructed this to be turned off.
We're not going to do anything about it at all. You have somebody here that's going to turn it on.
Audio. It's audio.
I can't wait for you to come here again.
It says it was shut down.
Does anybody want to speak, please?
No, this is so inappropriate.
Somebody just wrote me that it shut down. The live feed.
No. Mr. Hippler, were you directed to turn this off? Wow. Disgraceful. Nope. Nope.
So the live feed.
Well, I came here early today, and I was just going to, speak on behalf of the fire department and James Engel Group. And, you set out, you accomplished what you wanted, and you cleared the chamber out. You cut the feed. And, the city attorney or new administrator talks about decorum, respect. I challenged Commissioner Anderson. You said you had people emailing you that they don't want to view what goes on in public comment. It's very odd to me because across the board, there has not been one person on every single social media page, not one, that requested to have or was okay with having the meeting moved to the end. Every single person, all of them, wanted the meeting put in the front. And so my question is, why do we have these meetings on the first and third Wednesday of every month? Why do we do it? Why don't you guys all just go into mayor's chambers and discuss city business, or not even have the public attend? Why do we do this every first and third Wednesday? It's because it's our meeting. It doesn't belong to the developers, and it also doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the residents. They're the ones that elected you. They're the ones that want to come out here and be heard. And I understand that sometimes these meetings kind of get a little bit out of hand. You have to ask yourself, why? Why are the same people coming in here and just kicking up some dust? Are they just angry people like all the time? Or is it when they come in here and they get respected, like the mayor telling a grown man to go sit down? And we just talked about proper decorum and respect. How do you expect the citizens to respect you when even Commissioner Nesta is speaking and the mayor is being viewed by all of us? Is smirking, he's smiling, he's disregarding. When people come up here to speak, they want to be heard. And I asked even like a few weeks ago, where's that signal out at Station 1? And I was told by the mayor, I'll update you tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. I never got the update. When somebody stands up here and they're complaining about something or supporting something, it would behoove you to at least even acknowledge the speaker. Like, hey, thanks for coming. Thank you for engaging in city business and city politics. Obviously, you'd rather have us just not even show up. You just rather have developers come in here and, sell land or build apartment complexes and totally leave the entire public out of it. When we're the ones that elected you and put you in this position, somehow, somewhere down the road, you all forgot, not all, who you work for. You don't work for the developers. So what? If they hear somebody on a 4-minute, rage about this, that, and whatever, why should we care? This is our city hall. These are our minutes. You work for the residents. You don't work for the developers. I don't understand how you can't get that through your head. And to do these little things where you push public comment to the end, do you really think that's going to stop us from coming? So your idea now is you clear the chamber so nobody else gets to hear that. Your staff is all gone. No question is to them. They work for us too. You all do. Put the public comments back in the front. It's 4 minutes, guys. You have on average, what, 4 or 5 people that come up here? It's 20 minutes of public comment. You are an elected official. Have thicker skin. Somebody's coming after you. Come on. You signed up for this position. You know there's going to be criticism. Accept it. Try to fix it. At least address the people. Thank you.
I think everyone should hug the dog. Caitlin Kasheda, Executive Director of Main Street Apopka. I'm here today to present the exciting results from the Apopka Dog Mayor election, which took place on Saturday, July 27th at Caitlin Nelson Park. But before I do, I wanted to take a moment to recap what this program is and its community impact. The program was created by Main Street Apopka in 2023 as a wholesome, fun-loving way to raise money for animal welfare. This was done by asking people to donate $1 votes for 5 nominated Apopka pets or candidates, who had each chosen a rescue to support with the proceeds of their donations. You each chose a candidate to support and to sponsor in their 4-week campaign. And during that time, donations came in from all over the country, and we even received a donation from Australia. Furthermore, Fox News spotlighted this program in their morning nationally aired show, Fox and Friends, which you can watch on our Instagram and Facebook page. So in its inaugural year, Commissioner Nesta's sponsored candidate Asher won the election, and the program raised $19,806 for 5 Central Florida animal rescues, 3 of which are based here in Apopka. In Asher's 12-month term, he was invited to grand openings, ribbon cuttings, birthday parties, opening ceremonies, children's events, and countless community events. He made appearances at all major city events, most by invitation, including the annual Fall Festival, the Christmas Parade, the tree lighting, Saturday Sounds concert series, and the Art and Foliage Festival, to name a few. He was also pinned as an honorary police officer by APD, a ceremony now that means something a little different to me these days. Needless to say, Asher and his owner, Christina, they set the bar really high. This year, 4 candidates raced in the campaign, raising dollar donations, votes, and sponsorships, both private and corporate. And once again, votes came in from all over the country, and our worldwide reach spread to Puerto Rico and the United Kingdom. We were invited to Fox 35 news station to be interviewed for their morning show, Good Day Orlando, and had articles published in the Apopka Chief, the Apopka Voice, and Channel 9. And we have an interview about the program coming up and the results with News 6. And though we believe that all dogs are winners, only one would claim victory and be elected as the 24-25 dog mayor. So Hank, sponsored by Commissioner Nesta, raised $906 for Suncoast Basset Rescue. That we did miss you on Election Day, Commissioner.
No, Commissioner Smith.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Smith. I'm so sorry. Walter, sponsored by Commissioner Velasquez, raised $3,046 for the CARE Foundation, and you were able to present the winning dog with our Key to the City dog toy. That was very sweet. Joy, sponsored by Commissioner Anderson, raised $7,238 for All Hound Rescue of Florida. And thank you for coming. I know it was a really big deal, but you conquered your fear, and you even got close and snuggly with your dog and got a great picture. So thank you very much for that. It doesn't go unnoticed. And the incumbent, Mayor Asher, sponsored by Commissioner Nesta, rose victorious again, raising $9,945 for the Heartland Foundation here in Apopka. And always thank you for your positive and exciting involvement in this program and support. It's been great. So together, these dogs, with the help of their owners, raised $22,832 this year. So as a part of Main Street Apopka's mission, one of Mayor Asher's goals is to raise awareness and bring foot traffic through the doors of our small businesses and nonprofits, building revenue and financial support. Beyond that, Asher has launched his Paw It Forward Fund, where people can donate into the fund, and at next year's election, that pot will be added to the Winning Dogs Rescue donation total on top of their campaign proceeds. So we are grateful for the team of volunteers that made all this happen, the support of the council, the mayor, and without further ado, we have an American flag pin that we would love for Commissioner Nesta to pin onto his dog. And then if we were able to get a city pin, I had asked the mayor to also pin it on the dog. And then if I could get a picture with everyone, that would be amazing.
You'll be okay going up there? Going up there next to the dog. Yeah, for the picture. No, yeah. No, they're that much. Yeah, we'll get it. Okay. Yeah.
Here we go. Here's.
He did all the driving around.
Just making sure he's going to stay focused.
Well, I don't guess it matters if everybody sitting down or not, but I came in a positive mood today, and to be honest with you, I want to say thank you very much to our new fire chief. I feel like there's going to be a very positive attitude and feelings over the fire department. Apopka Fire Department's got a history of the fire department. The City of Apopka has a history, yet the fire department's always been a good representative of the city. The personnel over there is fantastic, some good people, and I've seen a lot of smiling faces, and I see a glow coming from that department. And I think Will is going to do a fantastic job as far as training and promoting the right people in the right positions, and really excited for him, and let him know the citizens of Apopka and the past firefighters of Apopka have your back. And I want to say thank you to the commission for a few things I've done, because you've got some very good employees within the Public Works Department that's been out working in the hot, hot sun, sweating and working their back ends off and smiling while they're doing it. We need to be very thankful for our employees that the city's got. I'm very disappointed in what I have just seen. Mayor Nelson, that's the most dictatorship thing I've ever seen. And as far as our city manager goes, what bothers me, I've had no problems with you until earlier. He said, "Oh, I seen that $40,000 voucher come across." I just figured, I assumed it was a normal thing in Apopka. Well, at $40,000, I'm hoping our city manager will be more curious to say, hey, is this normal? But maybe next time. I mean, things happen. And Attorney Shepard, lying is not okay. My kids seen that and then seen you on channel 35 News, I think it was, with your daughter, something. But anyway, and my daughter says,
Come on, get back to you're addressing the council.
Said it's okay to lie. Brian, come on, back up. You're so. I'm trying not to say anything. Like I said, I came up in a positive mood. But anyway, as normal people, I mean, not attorneys, lying is not right. But I can see some people accept lying as a normal everyday routine. I wish you luck, Mayor Nelson.
Anybody else? Come on up. Abby.
Albert McKinley, 363 Golden Gem Road. I expected that our video presentations today would be curtailed. So, Mayor, what I did is I made some backup copies, you know. And what's great is you did me a big favor today, because you got an email sent to me that said that you'd reviewed the videos and in your opinion we couldn't play them. That means you're now complicit in what you saw that was occurring in Golden Gem Road. Commissioners, you tell me about respect. Respect is something that's earned. It's not a given. Commissioners, you allowed me last week to be treated like an animal. I treat my animals better than you're treating me. Last week I had to take a truck and make numerous visits to pick up water for my horses. Why? Because my well was down for a week. Why? Because it's contaminated. It was full of sediment. Commissioners, I supplied you with pictures of dirty material going into the aquifers, but not one of you today addressed that when you had your time of public comment. Are you treating me like an animal? Am I less than these people in here? Why is it you do nothing for me, when for the last 2 years I come to the city and do everything for you? There's a problem. The problem is the N-word. The N-word is neglect and negligence. And that man sitting in the middle is the reason there's neglect and negligence. Because he continuously lies. Now today he found a way yet again to make sure that our video presentation wasn't made. But let me tell you, and Chief, you're sitting over here, policy and ordinances do not trump the Constitution. Had I chosen today to come in here with a t-shirt that said Mayor Nelson is an incompetent drunk, there's nothing that you could have done about it. That's called freedom of speech. It's acceptable under the Constitution. The videos that I brought here today had captions on them. And the captions were simple. They were an expression of my opinion. There's no difference in those captions to what there is me wearing a t-shirt with Brian Nelson with a big nose. Yeah, there's no difference. It's constitutionally protected. The videos that I came here with 3 weeks ago, you had 3 weeks to review them. 1 hour before today, Mayor Nelson decided that we weren't going to be allowed to show them. Why? Because he doesn't want the truth out there. But people, FDEP know, St. John's know, and there's a big problem. Because St. John's could take a contract that currently would cost you $12 million now and make you pay back that $12 million. There's all sorts of problems. And I'm not going to tell you what those problems are today. One of the problems I have now is with our new city administrator, because he doesn't answer me. I give him the opportunity to call me. I've given him the opportunity to respond to my emails. He doesn't want to do that either. Why? Because the minute I give him information and he doesn't do anything about it, he becomes as complicit in the cover-up as Brian Nelson and Deodat Buddha. Deodat told you that there was no contamination to the wells. I remember Councillor Smith saying Was there any proof of that? And he said, no, because nobody reported. Commissioners, do you have a document from people that told you there was no contamination in the wells? The answer is no, because no such document exists.
Leroy Bell, 2308 Blue Meadows Court. The reason that comment to move to the end because they just cut the fee to YouTube, and secondly, he knew if it came to a vote, he had the vote to pass it with Smith and Anderson. He knew he had that. I start with 1908 for the people that of color on this commission. In 1908 in Chicago is where NAACP first started with a man by the name of William K. Dunnigan, where the police department took and hung this man and cut his throat. In 2024, a young lady was shot by the Chicago Police Department. She begged them not to hurt her. She told them, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And they still shot her in the head, even after the cop said that he would do this. You said, well, what they got to do with what? Well, the young lady, Sonia Master, that was killed by Chicago Police Department was the great-great-granddaughter of William Dunnigan. That brings me to the cowardice police officer that beat a man that was tased in the back twice. The expert commissioner and the commissioner that uphold her. Understand the man that shot the young woman had been from 5 different police departments. From this one to this one to this one to that one. He progressed all the way up. If somebody had stopped him, Sonia Massey probably would have been alive today. But this coward that kicked and beat this young man after tasing him in the back, this wasn't the first one that he mauled in Apopka. So what I'm telling you is this. When he transferred from his kicking and tasing and beating to his service weapon and killed somebody in Apopka, I just want to let you know that you would be the same one that pulling the trigger. My thing is this. Why in the world this coward that we got as a chief, his deputy chief, every commissioner up here has seen the tape. We got a problem in Apopka. We have paid our lawsuits for police in Apopka beating citizens. Where your backbone at? And where are the ministers in all this? So I guess what we're going to do, we need to ask the state to take some of these exemption forms from these Christian organizations, because you enable people to come into your church and you tell your parishioner to vote for this person, vote for that person. That's against the law. But yet and still, the people that support South Apopka, Apopka as a whole, you won't allow them to come into church and ask them to vote for somebody that you uphold, like Doug Bankston, the cult leader. Now, let's see what you're going to do. Are we going to move this back forward? Do we need to get the NAACP in here? Or do we need to march on the city hall? You need to get together with your upholder and your expert.
Good evening. Okay. My name is Megan Garcia. I grew up in Apopka. I have always had a sense of pride in my hometown. I was part of Girl Scout Troop 613 that was led by Miss Debbie Alfano and the late Carla Grady, who passed away several years ago. Those two women instilled in me a desire to serve my community. It's something that I've done since I was a little brownie. That seed is what started my interest in supporting our first responders, which I've done for the last 7 years through different advocacy projects that I've worked with our department directly for. It's why I got involved with Commissioner Kyle Becker and served on his campaign team for the last several years. And it's why I serve in the community like I do now today. Captain Alex Klepper has been working with our new Apopka fire recruits for the last several weeks and made time today to come to support his new fire chief, as well as to be here for the J. Angle presentation. He was unable to stay for the duration of this meeting, so I will be reading a quote today from my friend to ensure that his voice is not silenced, unlike the rest of ours, and I appreciate you, Commissioner Nesta, for recording this for us. It is unfortunately very telling why the mayor wants to move comments to the end. Now that is ever more clear, because when he wrote this, he had no idea this was going to happen. How is it ethical to have the director of HR give a presentation misrepresenting salary disparities between police and fire? Can someone explain why the presentation showed the cost of 11 new police officers based on only salary, and then directly underneath shows the cost of 15 new firefighters based on salary and benefits, if not only to make the numbers appear inflated? Here is a slide that is missing from that presentation. In 2019, the starting pay for an Apopka firefighter and an Apopka police officer was $46,600. Now, in 2024, an Apopka firefighter still starts at $46,600, while an Apopka police officer starts at $59,749. Not to mention that the minimum hourly rate for any other Apopka employee is $18 an hour, while firefighters start at $16 an hour. This is pretty shameful and beneath everyone here. The city is punishing its firefighters for no reason. I think I know why, but I'll leave that to myself. You have to do better. End quote. I do not take it lightly to be standing up here to speak on behalf of any of the men and women of the Apopka Fire Department. The honor and respect our first responders deserve goes far beyond what I am capable of doing up here in my funny t-shirt, even with my history here in Apopka. They depend on you all at the dais to consider them in your expectations to this administration and his staff, apparently on a lot of ways. When you stand, we stand with you. Yes? They stand out on the corner for early voting with you. Yes? Back when you first got elected, Commissioner Nesta, it was a mandatory 48s back then. Do you recall that period of time? They were always on 48s. I remember Alex Pepper working 2 days in a row, and on that third day, he stood out in the sun with me all day long, swapping signs for Commissioner Becker and for Commissioner Nesta. Those guys were out there with us. That's what the problem is with him. That's why he doesn't support them. End of discussion. Thank you.
Sylvester Hall, 3091 Rolling Hills Lane. Our country is in a national crisis because too many good people are standing by watching bad things happen and not saying anything about it. I expect nice people to do that, but not good people. Nice people go along to get along, they compromise. But good people are supposed to stand up for what's wrong and for what's right. The handout that I just gave everybody is an email that I sent to Susan Bone. And the email was simply said, please provide copies of all City of Apopka and Apopka Fire Department union emails. Please include all emails between Brian Nelson, the City of Apopka personnel, former terminated City Attorney Michael Rodriguez, current City Attorney Cliff Shepard, and union attorneys in this matter, Mendel, etc. It's been 2 weeks now. I haven't heard anything. I blind copy everybody up here. I don't know whether you got it or not, but I blind copied you. And so when we're talking about decorum, we're talking about professionalism. What a joke. At some point in your life, in your career, and I don't blame people who have to feed their families. I know it's tough. When you got to put food on your table, you got to feed your family, it's tough. But when you compromise your moral conscience and your moral being, you're selling your soul out. And it's easier to rebound from a job when you stood up for righteousness than it was when you stood up for fraud and corruption. So keep that in mind. We always say that when we normalize the abnormal, it desensitizes the truth. So to the point where the truth doesn't matter. It's abnormal for the mayor to sit up here and tell these lies. And the last time when former Commissioner Becker came in to debunk his lie, I wonder what anybody on the council is going to do. Is there going to be another censorship? Are we going to get to the bottom of it? Or are we just going to pass it on? Because I remember when Commissioner Nesta tried to ask you guys, is it okay to lie? Is it okay to lie? Commissioner Anderson, you never answered the question. You brought it up like it was taking your family and your business, which you wasn't. But you still never answered the question. Commissioner Smith, you sent him a nice letter. And I'm going to quote, as a black man, you should know, as you said, as a black man. But I'm going to tell you, as a black man, you should know better to cry false racism. You also said you was an educator. As an educator, you should know how to apply common sense. You also said you was a human being. As a human being, I have 4 minutes. As a human being, you should learn to treat others like they treat you. And as a pastor, you should have a moral conscience. I am talking to the people. So I want to say this because I know my time is running. Did the firefighters get a contract today? Did we agree on a contract for the firefighters? So I guess that means no. So I say to the city council here, I say to the city attorney, I say to the city administrator, the mayor, the citizen, principles matters, integrity matters, honesty matters, accountability matters, responsibility matters, morals matter, ethics matter, character matters, procedures matter, leadership matter, laws matter. If you do all that, you will never have a problem with decorum. Period.
Anybody else from public wish to speak? All right, that's it. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, you want transparency? Make sure I get that information because as a critic, that's what you said. You want citizens to know we got transparency. Make sure I get that.